is go on to the next one, to go on to the 1989, which was last year's offering. We used bottled up 3 casks for this, and it's 17-year-old, 16 and a half, 17-year-old. So again, I'd like you to pick up the glass. It's 50% alcohol, so it's much easier to smell at this strength. So have a smell at it, and what's the immediate smell you get through? Thick, sweet cream. It's not sugar sweetness, it's more like a very, very rich honey sweetness. That's the initial smell. You'll also, when you go in below that, you'll smell a little bit of kind of violets or roses, a very heavy flower scent. You'll also get just a little touch of salt. Now, there's just a tiny bit of salt there, but what I want you to do is to put, again, just a drop of water in, but not an awful lot this time, because it is 17-year-old and it does bruise easy. Oh, come on. Whiskey's a gentle thing. You can't harm it. So just a splash of water. And when you add the water in and give it a swirl, you'll find that the flavours do come out and do magnify. And I was talking about roses and violets. You'll get those coming through now. But you don't get a massive peat smell on the nose. But I told you God gave you 2 hands to pick up 2 glasses. I'd like you to pick up the 2006 in your left hand and the 2007 in your right hand. No, not the water. It's all right, we haven't got 3 hands. Those of you who don't have any 2006 left can fake it. What I'd like you to do is smell the 2007, the 1989, the 17-year-old first. And you'll get that real strong, sweet, soft, round, intense flavours. Then go back to the first sample. And immediately you'll pick up salt. It's like walking along a beach. Just as the sea is going out, likes of today, you could walk along the front there, you'll get that salty ozone type smell coming through. Now the reason for that is that you're going from one sample that has a very intense sweet flavour to another one which initially was sweet. When we first tried it, there was a sweetness there, but that sweetness doesn't show through as much as it does when we tried it before, because you're looking at one that's much, much more sweeter. And it's just like walking through, I can imagine, my picture of that is walking along a beach, late afternoon, in the sunshine. And you can get that salty ozone smell. Let's go back to the 89, 17-year-old. And now when you back in, you'll get a lot deeper flavours. It actually smells, and it's a silly word to use, it smells slightly brown. It's a very deep, heavy flavour. I mean, it seems silly that you have a colour that you could describe a smell, but it does. It smells very thick and heavy. And it's not as sugary sweet as it first showed. But what I'd like you to do again is take your glass of water, a sip of water and a sip of whiskey. Because when you do that, now you will taste the smoke. You'll taste that peat. But instead of being like the 12-year-old, which was very dry and dusty at the side of the mouth, this is more at the front of the mouth. It's on the tip of the tongue and the front of the lips. It is. And it's very much sweeter and it's much rounder. It fills the mouth much more. It's as though it coats the mouth on the inside with cream. Now that's due to the types of casks we use. For all the Freud, apart from some very few bottlings that we do from sherry casks, all the casks we use are ex-bourbon casks. Now once used, Maker's Mark. Now the reason we use Maker's Mark is we can guarantee the quality. For the last 20 years it's been Maker's Mark casks that we've used here. Because Maker's Mark don't bottle to an age. It's a bourbon, a small batch bourbon, but they don't bottle to an age. They bottle to a flavour. And they test from 5.5 to 6.5 years old. And when the whiskey is right, they will bottle it. They will select the cask and bottle. You've been there?
No, but not old enough.
You know, so we guaranteed that no cask is older than 6.5 years. So we actually get the best casks in the industry for coming here for Laphroaig. Now, one of the things that happens, American white oak has a natural vanilla in it called vanillin. Now, if you taste the 1989 again, you will actually taste that creaminess, that vanilla. Now, I know the ladies will cook, I don't know about the men. But when you use oh, someone's nodding. Yeah, he's like me. He must be house trained. But when you add vanilla to something, you don't actually taste the vanilla as such. It just adds a creaminess. So if you taste... I'm sorry, we're in the middle of a session. If you taste the 1989 again, and again, as I say, with just a little touch of water, what you will find, it's very, very creamy. It's like a custard feel on the inside of the mouth.
What about the colour?
Colours as it comes from the casks. That's the difference. When we produce the likes of Laphroaig 10-year-old, Laphroaig cask strength, or Laphroaig quarter cask, these are the big sales. These are the ones that we sell 170,000 cases a year. These are the ones that when you buy a bottle, not only has the flavour to be the same from bottle to bottle, but when you buy it and you put it into a glass, it should look the same. Can I ask you a question? If you bought a bottle of Laphroaig, 10-year-old, standard 10-year-old Laphroaig, and you poured it into a glass at home and the colour didn't look right, what would your immediate reaction be? Something's wrong with it, right? Now, we've known this for many, many decades. So what we do is we standardise the colour. We know what the darkest colour we will get from our Maker's Mark casks. Now, casks are natural things. The trees are natural. They grow in a forest. And depending whether it's the outside of the forest or the inside, or whether it's the top of the tree or the bottom, depends actually on the type of wood you get. So that when you extract flavour from the wood, you also extract colour. And the colour can vary. If you look at these, the colour of these three are natural, and they have varied. They are different colours. So we know what the darkest will be that we're going to use. And what we do, we add a very, very small amount of caramel, spirit caramel, that's allowed under the law, to standardise the colour. So when you open a bottle of whiskey, it will always stay the same. The look will be the same, so your eye says, that's what I expect. Therefore, the taste, you're only relying on the taste. Your brain's not saying to you something's different. Now, to tell you, we use, now let me if I get this right, 0.00001% caramel. So it's a minuscule amount. In each bottle, it's a couple of drips. It does nothing to the taste. It does nothing to the flavour. All it does is standardise the colour so that people are content. I mean, just imagine, we're all right for Laphroaig because it's green. But if we sold whiskey in a white bottle like that, and you went into a shop and you saw them all different colours, what would you think? Something was wrong. You wouldn't buy them, right? But that's all it is. It's just the look. And until, I won't say until people know and understand what we're doing, because I try to explain this to people. They talk about, they want it as natural. They want it at cask strength and they want it at natural colour. But quite honestly, sometimes cask strength is not the best strength to have a whiskey at. All you're getting is a lot of alcohol for your money. And that's going to cost you more money when you buy a bottle. The higher the alcohol content is in that bottle, the more it's going to cost. Not just from us, but from the excise duty in whichever country you are. Because you pay duty on the amount of alcohol in there, you know.